Dell's Inspiron computer product line started as a range of laptop computers targeted at the entry-level, budget, a Mobile Celeron or Mobile Pentium II processor with SDRAM, and had a high starting price of $2,799. Now the Inspiron line mainly consists of mid-level computer systems to compete with Acer Aspire, HP Pavilion and Toshiba Satellite. Current models, Invertibles, as it has a wide range of generally budget laptops, the specifications and price vary from model to model. The common varieties these days are, processor 4th generation Intel Core i3 or i5 CPU, RAM, 4 to 8 GB 1600 MHz DDR3, hard disk 5400 to 7200 RPMs 240 GB 1 TB. Display 1415 and 17-inch LED backlit with resolution of 1366 x 768 pixels to 1920 x 1080 pixels, graphics card. Although Intel HD graphics comes with Intel processors, some models also have dedicated NVIDIA or AMD graphics cards. Battery, 6 or 9-cell lithium-ion battery, camera. 1.0 megapixel HD webcam, Wi-Fi card. Yes, 802.11 bn, Bluetooth, yes, dimensions and weight, weight 1.53, 3.39 lbs, kg to 1.97 kg, 4.33 lbs, colors, blue, red, and black, extras, USB 2.0 and 3.0 ports. Some varieties have Max Audio registered trademark for, netbooks, Inspiron 1010, 1011, 1012, 1018, released on Dell's website on February 26, 2009, the Inspiron Mini 10 is a 10.1-in netbook whose Mini 10V model weighs 1.13 kg, and whose Mini 10 model weighs 1.18 kg. The Mini 10 has an option for an external TV tuner and mobile broadband from AT&T. There is a 2 GB option available with Windows Vista Home Basic 32-bit. Laptops, Inspiron M101Z, released online August 5, 2010. The Inspiron M101Z is Dell's 11.6 inches entry-level subnotebook that weighs 3.44 lbs. It features an HDMI output but lacks an optical drive. Processors, AMD Athlon 2 Neo K125. AMD Athlon 2 Neo K325, or Intel Core i3-330UM, memory, up to 4 GB DDR3 1333 MHz SODIMM operating at 800 MHz, chipset, ATI-RS880M plus SB820M chipset or Intel HM57 Express chipset, graphics processor, ATI Mobility Radeon HD 4225 or Intel HD graphics, LCD display. 11.6 inches 1366 768 HDTL FWLED, hard drive. 250 GB 5400 RPMs or 320 GB 7200 RPMs SATA, battery, 6-cell, 56 Li-ion battery with up to 6 hours 36 minutes of battery life, camera, built-in 1.3 MP webcam, Wi-Fi card, Dell Wireless 1501 800 2.11 GN, Dell Wireless 1520 800 2.11 N, or Intel Centrino Advanced N Plus WiMAX 6250, Bluetooth, Bluetooth 3.0 800 2.11 BN combo card, I/O ports, 3 USB 2.0 ports, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 HDMI output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, 1 7-inch-1 media card reader, 1 SIM card slot, and 1 power adapter connector. Dimensions and weight, width 8.07 inches, height 0.95 front to 1.38 back, depth 11.5, starting weight of 3.44 lbs, Inspiron 1110, released online on August 18, 2009. The Inspiron 1110 is Dell's 11.6 entry-level subnotebook that weighs 3.05 lbs. It features an HDMI output but lacks an optical drive. Processors, Intel Celeron 723 or Intel Pentium dual-core SU4100 soldered to the processor board, not replaceable. Memory, 2 GB or 4 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz. Chipset, Intel GS45 Express chipset. Graphics processor, integrated Intel GMA 4500 MHD graphics. LCD display, 11.6 inches WLED backlit display with a 1366 768 resolution and true life. Hard drive, 250 GB, 320 GB or 500 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs. Battery, 3-cell or 6-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera, 1.3 MP webcam. Wi-Fi card, Dell Wireless 1397 800 2.11 BG or Dell Wireless 1510 800 2.11 AGN. Bluetooth, Dell Wireless 365 Bluetooth, I/O ports, 3 USB 2.0 ports, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 HDMI output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, 1 3-inch-1 memory card reader, and 1 power adapter connector. Inspiron 1300 features the new Intel Celeron M processor IDE hard drive, Intel 82801FB FBM Ultra ATA storage controllers, DVD plus RW drive, mobile Intel 915 GMA GMS, 910 GML Express chipset family and C major HD audio. Dell Inspiron 14R, specifications, processor, 3rd generation Intel a registered trademark Coriolis i5-3317U CPU processor, operating system, Windows a registered trademark 8 operating system, memory, 4 GB DDR3 1333 MHz RAM, display, 14.0 inches HD plus TrueLife Infinity display with Skype certified high-def webcam WLED True Life LED screen bright and clear, hard drive, up to 500 GB 12 SATA hard drive, wireless, Dell Wireless 1704 800 2.11N plus Bluetooth 4.0, optical drive, and board tray loading DVD plus. /RW, speaker, stereo speakers with waves matched audio registered trademark 4 processing, built-in digital microphone, ports, externally accessible, USB 3.0, RJ45 Ethernet, HDMI ASNP 1.4, combination headphone microphone jack, Kensington security lock, AC power in dimensions and weight, width, 13.62 inches, height, 14R touch with 6-cell battery, 1.1 euro minus 1.3 euro depth, 9.65, weight, starting weight of 5.1 lbs with 6-cell 65 Wh battery, slots, digital memory card, secure digital high capacity, secure digital extended capacity with US 50 MB per second, memory stick Pro, memory stick XC, multimedia card plus supported in MMC compatibility mode only, graphics card, NVIDIA GE4C registered trademark GT630M with 1 GB GDDR5 VRAM and Intel HD 4000 video card, battery, 6-cell lithium-ion battery, construction, machined aluminum in silver, aluminum display back, silicon base with machined aluminum casing, magnesium palmrest with soft touch paint, camera, 1.3 MP webcam with dual-array digital microphones, keyboard/touchpad, standard full-size, backlit chiclet keyboard. Spill-resistant, glass-integrated button touchpad with gesture support, 3-inch-1 card reader, headset jack, mini Kensington lock, drivers and downloads of Dell Inspiron 14 or 5420, Inspiron 5421T, features the new Intel Core 2 Solo processor that can last up to 8 hours using an 8-cell battery. Also includes standard DVD drive and an option to upgrade up to NVIDIA 512MB graphics card. Inspiron 14 refers to the Dell Inspiron 14-inch display laptops. Although it varies from model to model, here is a common specification, Dell Inspiron 14R, 5421, specifications, Processor, 3rd generation Intel. A registered trademark Coruscant i7-3537U CPU processor. Operating system, Windows. A registered trademark 8 operating system. Memory, 4GB DDR3 1600 MHz RAM. Display, 14.0 HD WLED True Life LED screen, bright and clear. Hard drive, 500GB 7200 RPM SATA hard disk drive. Wireless, Dell Wireless 1704 800 2.11n plus Bluetooth 4.0. Optical drive, board tray loading DVD plus/RW. Camera, native HD 1.0MP webcam with digital microphone. Speaker, stereo speakers with waves matched audio. Registered trademark 4 processing, built-in digital microphone. Ports, externally accessible, 2, USB 3.0 plus USB 2.0, RJ45 Ethernet, HDMI ACENT v1.4, combination headphone microphone jack, Kensington security lock, AC power in. Dimensions and weight, width, 13.62 inches, height, 14R touch with 6-cell battery, 1.1 -1.3 depth, 9.65, starting. Weight of 5.1 lbs with 6-cell 65 Wh battery, slots, digital memory card, secure digital high capacity, secure digital extended capacity with US 50 MB per second, memory stick Pro, memory stick XC, multimedia card plus supported in MMC compatibility mode only, graphics card, NVIDIA GT730M 2GB DDR3 video memory and Intel HD 4000 graphic card, battery, 6-cell lithium-ion battery, Inspiron 1525. Released online on July 27, 2007, the Inspiron 1525 is Dell's 15.4 inches budget laptop that weighs 5.8 lbs. Processors, Intel Celeron 900. Intel Pentium dual-core T4200 or T4300 or Intel Core 2 Duo T5750, T6400, T6500, T6600, T8100, P7350, P7450, P8600, P8700, A Intel Core i5-520M, AMD Athlon 10-2 dual-core QL64, AMD Turion X2 dual-core RM74 or AMD Turion X2 dual-core Ultra ZM82, memory, 2 GB, 3 GB or 4 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz, chipset, Intel GM965 Express chipset. Graphics processor, integrated Intel GMA10 3100 graphics or ATI Mobility Radeon 256 MB of graphics memory. LCD display, 15.4 inches CCFL backlit widescreen with 1280 800 resolution or 15.4 CCFL backlit widescreen with 1280 800 resolution and True Life or 15.4 WLED backlit widescreen with 1440 900 resolution and True Life or 15.4 WLED backlit display with 1680 1050 resolution and True Life. Hard drive, 80 GB, 160 GB, 250 GB, 320 GB, or 500 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs. Optical drive, 8x tray load dual LED DVD plus/RW drive or 2x tray load Blu-ray disc combo drive. Battery, 4-cell, 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera, 2.0MP webcam with optional facial recognition software, Wi-Fi card, Dell Wireless 1397 800 2.11BG half mini card or Intel Wi-Fi Link 4965 800 2.11 again half mini card. Bluetooth, Dell Wireless Bluetooth internal 365. I/O ports, 4 USB 2.0 ports, 1 IEEE 1394 connector, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 modem port, 1 VGA output, 1 S video TV out connector, 1 HDMI connector, 2 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, 1 express card slot, 2 mini card slots, 1 8-inch-1 memory card reader, 1 consumer IR, and 1 power adapter connector. Inspiron 1545, released online on January 16, 2009, the Inspiron 1545 is a 15.6 inches budget laptop that weighs 5.8 lbs. The Inspiron 1545 is the first laptop in Dell's Inspiron line to get Design Studio. Website. Processors: Intel Centrino, Intel Celeron 900, Intel Pentium dual-core T4200, T4300 or T4400 or Intel Core 2 Duo T4500, T6400, T6500, T6600, P7350, P7450, Intel Core i5-520M, AMD Athlon 10-2 dual-core QL64, AMD Turion X2 dual-core RM74 or AMD Turion X2 dual-core Ultra ZM82, memory, 2 GB, 3 GB or 4 GB of shared. Dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz 8 GB works but not officially supported. Chipset: Intel GM45 Express chipset or 780 million Armenian DRAMs chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA4500M HD graphics or ATI Mobility Radeon HD 4330 with 256 or 512 MB of graphics memory. LCD display: 15.6 inches CCFL backlit widescreen with a 1366 768 and True Life or 15.6 WLED backlit widescreen with 1366 768 resolution 15.6 or WLED backlit display with 1600 900 resolution and True Life. Hard drive: 160 GB, 250 GB, 320 GB, or 500 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x tray low dual LED DVD+/RW drive. Battery: 4-cell, 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera: 1.3 MP webcam with optional facial recognition software, Wi-Fi card, Dell Wireless 1397 800 2.11BG half mini card or Intel Wi-Fi Link 4965 800 2.11 again half mini card. Bluetooth: Dell Wireless Bluetooth internal 365. I/O ports: 3 USB 2.0 ports, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 VGA output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, 1 express card 34 slot, 1 7-inch-1 memory card reader, and 1 power adapter connector. Inspiron 5523: the Inspiron 5523 is a newer version of the Inspiron 15Z. Processors: 3rd generation Intel Core i3, i5, or i7. Memory: 6 GB or 8 GB of shared dual-channel DDR3 SDRAM at 1066 MHz. Chipset: Intel GS45 Express chipset. Graphics processor: Intel HD Graphics 4000. LCD display: 15.6 inches glossy WLED backlit display with 1366 768 resolution with optional multi-touch touchscreen. Hard drive: 160 GB, 250 GB, 320 GB, or 500 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs with a 32 GB solid-state drive included on all options. Optical drive: 8x tray low dual LED DVD+/RW drive. Battery: 6-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera: 1.3 MP webcam with optional facial recognition software, Wi-Fi card, Intel Centro Wi-Fi. Bluetooth: Intel Centro 1.0 ports, 3 USB 3.0 ports, 1 USB 3.0 port with PowerShare, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 HDMI output, 1 combined headphone and microphone jack, 1 Kensington lock, 1 express card slot, 1 7-inch-1 memory card reader, and 1 power adapter connector. Inspiron 1750, released online on July 16, 2009, The Inspiron 1750 is Dell's 17.3 inches budget laptop that weighs 6.8 lbs. The Inspiron 1750 has the same design as the Inspiron 1440, but is simply bigger and includes a numeric keypad. Unlike its predecessor, the Inspiron 1720, the Inspiron 1750 does not support 2 hard drives. Processors: Intel Pentium dual-core T4200 or T4300, Intel Core 2 Duo T6500, T6600, P7350, P7450, P8600 or P8700 or Intel Core i3. Memory: 2 GB, 3 GB or 4 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz. Chipset: Intel GM45 Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA4500M HD graphics or ATI Mobility Radeon HD 4330 with 256 MB or 512 MB of graphics memory. LCD display: 17.3 inches WLED backlit widescreen with a 1600x900 and True Life or 17.3 WLED backlit widescreen with a 1920x1080 resolution and True Life. Hard drive: 160 GB, 250 GB, 320 GB, or 500 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x tray load dual LED DVD plus/RW drive or 2x tray load Blu-ray disc combo drive. Battery: 4-cell, 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera: 1.3 MP webcam with optional facial recognition software. Wi-Fi card: Dell Wireless 1397 800 2.11 BG half mini card or 1515 800 2.11 again half mini card or Intel Wi-Fi link 4965 800 2.11 again half mini card. Bluetooth: Dell Wireless Bluetooth internal 365, optional. I/O ports: 3 USB 2.0 ports, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 VGA output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, 1 express card slot, 1 7-inch-1 memory card reader, and 1 power adapter connector. Desktop models: On June 26, 2007, Dell released the new Inspiron desktop series as a replacement to the Dell Dimension chain. The Inspiron marks Dell's return to a micro ATX case and motherboard with one exception: the I/O panel is not removable. As a result, motherboard upgrades are nearly impossible without modifying the case. Inspiron 400, launched online on November 12, 2009, the Inspiron 400, more commonly known as the Inspiron Zyno HD, is an ultra-small form-factor desktop like the Studio Hybrid. It is in an 8 inches by 8 form factor and has a similar form factor to the Mac Mini and computers made by Shuttle. There are several customer reports about devices tending to overheat and shutting down randomly. Processors: AMD Athlon 642650E, 2680E or AMD Athlon 64X23250E or 6850E. Memory: 2 GB, 3 GB, 4 GB, 6 GB, 8 GB, 32 MB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz. Chipset: AMD RS780G. Graphics processor: integrated ATI 3200 graphics or ATI Radeon HD 4330 with 512 MB of graphics memory. Hard drive: 250 GB, 320 GB, 500 GB, 640 GB, 750 GB or 1 TB SATA at 7200 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x dual LED DVD plus/RW drive or 2x Blu-ray disc combo drive. Wi-Fi card: optional Dell 1397 800 2.11 BG wireless card or Dell 1520 800 2.11 again wireless card. I/O ports: 4 USB 2.0 ports, 2 eSATA ports, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, 1 line-out connector, 1 gigabit Ethernet port, 1 VGA output and 1 HDMI output. Inspiron 537s. The Inspiron 537s is simply the slim version of the Inspiron 537 with similar features. It replaces the Inspiron 530s. The Inspiron 537s is limited to an Intel Core 2 Quad Q8200, whereas the Inspiron 537 can be customized with up to a Core 2 Quad Q9400. Because of his slim form factor, it only has one optical drive. The other hardware configuration options are identical to those of the Inspiron 537. The memory is only upgradable to 4 GB. Processors: Intel Celeron 450, Intel Celeron Dual-Core E5100, Intel Pentium Dual-Core E5200, Intel Core 2 Duo E5300, E7500 or E8400 or Intel Core 2 Quad Q8200. Memory: 2 GB, 3 GB, or 4 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz. Chipset: Intel G41 Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA10 4500 graphics or ATI Radeon HD 4350 with 512 MB of graphics memory. Hard drive: 320 GB, or 500 GB SATA at 7200 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x dual LED DVD+/RW drive or 2x Blu-ray disc combo drive. Wi-Fi card: Dell Wireless 1505 800 2.11n mini card with external antenna. I/O ports: 4 USB 2.0 ports, 1 FireWire port, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 1 VGA output, 1 HDMI output, 1 headphone jack, 2 microphone jacks, 1 line-in connector, 1 line-out connector, 1 19-inch-1 memory card reader, as 1 power cable connector. Inspiron 545. The Inspiron 545 is a non-configurable mini-tower desktop that only retails at Best Buy in the Dell outlet. Processors: Intel Core 2 Duo E7400, or Core 2 Quad Q8300, Q9300, or Q9400. Memory: 2 GB, 3 GB, 4 GB, 6 GB or 8 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz. Chipset: Intel G31 Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA3100 graphics, ATI Radeon HD 4350 or NVIDIA GeForce GT220. Hard drive: 750 GB or 1 TB SATA at 7200 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x dual LED DVD+/RW drive. Wi-Fi card: Dell Wireless 1505 800 2.11n mini card with external antenna. I/O ports: 6 USB 2.0 ports, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 1 VGA output, 1 HDMI output, 1 19-inch-1 memory card reader, 1 headphone jack, 2 microphone jacks, 1 line-in connector, 1 line-out connector and 1 power cable connector. Inspiron 545s. The Inspiron 545s is the slimmer version of the Inspiron 545. Like its mini-tower cousin, the Inspiron 545s is non-configurable and only retails at Best Buy in the Dell outlet. Processors: Intel Core 2 Duo E7400. Memory: 2 GB, 3 GB, 4 GB or 6 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz. Chipset: Intel G33 Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA3100 graphics or ATI Radeon HD 4350 or NVIDIA GT220. Hard drive: 250 GB, 500 GB or 750 GB SATA at 7200 RPMs. Optical drive: ATA, dual LED DVD+/RW drive. Wi-Fi card: none. I/O ports: 6 USB 2.0 ports, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 1 VGA output, 1 headphone jack, 2 microphone jacks, 1 line-in connector, 1 line-out connector and 1 power cable connector. Inspiron 546, this model quietly went on sale on Dell's website and replaced the Inspiron 537. It features AMD processors. Processors: AMD Sempron LE1300, AMD Athlon LE1660, AMD Athlon 1027550, AMD Phenom 1038650 or 8750 or AMD Phenom 1049750. Memory: 2 GB, 3 GB, 4 GB, 6 GB or 8 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz. Chipset: 780 Armenian DRAMs G chipset, graphics processor, integrated ATI Radeon 3200 graphics, ATI Radeon HD 3450, HD 4350 or NVIDIA GeForce GT 220. Hard drive: 320 GB, 500 GB, 640 GB, 750 GB or 1 TB SATA at 7200 RPMs or 640 GB, 750 GB or 1 TB SATA at 7200 RPMs with data safe. Optical drive: 16x dual LED DVD+/RW drive, 2x Blu-ray disc combo drive or Blu-ray disc burner. Wi-Fi card: Dell Wireless 1505 2.11n mini card with external antenna. I/O ports: 4 USB 2.0 ports, 1 FireWire port, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 1 VGA output, 1 HDMI output, 1 headphone jack, 2 microphone jacks, 1 line-in connector, 1 line-out connector, 1 19-inch-1 memory card reader, as 1 power cable connector. Previous configurations: large screen models. Inspiron 1720/1721, released on Dell's website on June 26, 2007, the Inspiron 1720/1721 was a 17 inches large screen laptop that weighed 7.62 lb and was based on the Intel Santa Rosa platform. The Inspiron 1720/1721 had support for 2 hard drives and included a full numeric keypad. The Inspiron 1721 had a RAID 0 and RAID 1 options, which was oddly missing from the 1720. The Inspiron 1720/1721 was retired in 2008, with no direct 17 inches replacement until the introduction of the Inspiron 1750 on July 16, 2009. Processors: Intel Pentium dual-core T2310 or T2330 or Intel Core 2 Duo T5250, T5450, T5550, T5750, T5850, T7250, T7300, T7500, T7700, T8100, T8300, T9300 or T9500. Memory: 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB or 4 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 667 MHz. Chipset: Intel GM965 or PM965 Express chipset or ATI Radeon XPR ESS 1250 chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA10 3100 graphics or NVIDIA GeForce 8400 MGS or 8600 MGT. LCD display: 17 inches WXGA plus 1440 900 resolution, or ultra-sharp widescreen with 1920 1200 resolution and true life. Hard drive: 160 GB, 250 GB, 320 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x tray load DVD+/RW drive, 8x tray load dual LED DVD+/RW, or 2x tray load Blu-ray disc combo drive. Battery: 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera: 2MP webcam. Wi-Fi card: Dell Wireless 1390800 2.11G, 1490800 2.11 Aries per gram mini card, or 1505 800 2.11N mini card or Intel 3945 800 2.11 Aries per gram mini card or Next Gen 4965 800 2.11N mini card. Bluetooth, BCM 2045 Bluetooth adapter, or Dell Wireless Bluetooth internal 355. I/O ports, 5 USB ports, 1 FireWire port, 1 Fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 1 8-inch-1 memory card reader, 1 express card slot, 1 VGA output, 1 S-video output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Inspiron 9300. The Dell Inspiron 9300 was a laptop that had either a 1.6, 1.73, 1.86, 2.0, 2.13 or 2.26 GHz Intel Pentium M processor and a 17 inches wide screen. At the time, it also featured DDR2 memory, a new feature for laptops. Compared with the other Inspiron laptops, it is considered to be the entertainment powerhouse. The Inspiron 9300 was based loosely on its more expensive and more powerful big brother, the gaming-oriented Inspiron XPS Generation 2. With the right upgrades, the Inspiron 9300 can deliver most of the gaming power as the XPS Generation 2 at a much reduced cost. These upgrades start with the NVIDIA GeForce GO 6800 video card, and continue with extra RAM, a 7200 RPMs hard drive, and a Pentium M that is faster than the baseline 1.6 GHz speed. Processors: Intel Pentium M 730, 740, 750, 760, 770 or 780. Memory: 256 MB, 512 MB, 1 GB, or 2 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 533 MHz. Chipset: Intel 915PM Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA 950 graphics, NVIDIA GeForce GO 6800 Ultra or ATI Mobility Radeon X300. LCD display: 17 inches widescreen with 1440 900 resolution, or 17 widescreen with 1920 1200 resolution. Hard drive: 80 GB, 100 GB, 160 GB or 250 GB IDE at 5400 RPMs or 7200 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x tray load DVD+/RW drive, 8x tray load dual layer DVD+/RW. Battery: 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion battery. Bluetooth, Dell Wireless Internal 350. I/O ports: 1 Fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 6 USB ports, 1 FireWire 400 port, 1 5-inch-1 memory card reader, 1 PCMCIA card bus slot, 1 VGA output, 1 S-video port, 1 DVI output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Inspiron 9400/E1705, the top-of-the-line Inspiron models in 2006, the Inspiron E1705 and Inspiron 9400 are essentially the same laptop but with a few minor differences in configuration. The Inspiron 9400 was basically a more up-to-date, redesigned version of the Inspiron 9300 with a few extra added features such as the Dell Media Direct button which was left of the LED indicator lights next to the power button. The system had a starting price of $999, since it was meant to be used as a portable media center rather than a gaming laptop, and it was also using a new memory technology called DDR2. The Inspiron E1705 tends to run hot on its underside, which might be the reason the graphics processor on some units overheats and burns out within a year because of inadequate cooling. This problem can sometimes be resolved by reheating the solder joints under the GPU with the use of a hot air gun. On most accounts of users who have experienced this problem, it occurred after the warranty expired. Note that while this model only officially supports 1 GB dual-channel DDR2, it is possible to use 2 GB for a total of 4 GB. However, you'll be limited to 3.2 GB due to a large reserved address space for I/O allocated by the BIOS, and this whatever the operating system in use. Dell laptops have allocated space on the hard disk for utilities, for the media center, and restoration. If changing hard disks, see http://www.goodalls.net. Processors: Intel Core Duo T2300, T2400, T2600, or Intel Core 2 Duo T5600, T7200, T7400 or T7600. Memory: 256 MB, 512 MB, 1 GB, or 2 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 533 or 667 MHz. Chipset: Intel GM945 or PM945, i945PM, Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA950 graphics, NVIDIA GeForce Go 7800 or ATI Mobility Radeon X1400. LCD display: 17 inches widescreen with 1440 900 resolution, 17 widescreen with 1440 900 resolution and True Life, or 17 ultra-sharp widescreen with 1920 1200 resolution and True Life. Hard drive: 80 GB, 160 GB or 250 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs or 7200 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x tray load DVD+/RW drive, 8x tray load dual layer DVD+/RW. Battery: 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion battery. Wi-Fi card: Dell Wireless 1500 800 2.11n mini card or Intel Pro Wireless 3945 800 2.11 Aries per gram mini card. Bluetooth: Dell Wireless internal 350. I/O ports: 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 6 USB ports, 1 FireWire 400 port, 1 5-inch-1 memory card reader, 1 express card slot, 1 VGA output, 1 S-video port, 1 DVI output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Mainstream models: Inspiron 1501. The Inspiron 1501 is a mid-size, mainstream model with either AMD Turion, AMD Sempron or AMD Athlon 64X2 processor. This is Dell's first laptop to offer an AMD processor option. Processors: AMD Sempron, AMD Turion, AMD Turion 64 or Athlon 64X2. Memory: 1 or 2 256 MB, 512 MB or 1 GB PC 4200 DDR2 SDRAM at 533 MHz or faster SODIMMs, shared dual-channel. Reported by many users to support, unofficially, at least some 2 GB and even 4 GB SODIMMs with the last available BIOS, 2.6.3. 32-bit Windows can only use 2.6 GB on this machine. Can utilize more with a 64-bit operating system. Chipset: ATI Radeon XPR ESS 1150 Northbridge with an ATI SB600 Southbridge. Graphics processor: integrated ATI Radeon XPR ESS 1150 graphics. LCD display: 14.1 inches or 15.4 widescreen with 1280 800 resolution. Matte and slightly more expensive glossy variant supplied. Hard drive: 60 GB, 80 GB, 100 GB, 120 GB, 160 GB, 250 GB, 320 GB or 500 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs. Incompatible with some, but not all, SSDs. Optical drive: 8x tray load dual layer DVD+/RW or DVD reader CD recorder combo. Battery: 4-cell, 6-cell, 9-cell, or 12-cell lithium-ion battery. Wi-Fi card: Dell Wireless 3090 800 2.11BG mini card. I/O ports: 4 USB ports, 1 and 10/100ths Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, one 3-inch-1 memory card reader, one express card slot, one VGA output, one headphone jack, one microphone jack, and one power adapter port. Inspiron 1520/1521, released on Dell's website on June 26, 2007, the Inspiron 1520/1521 was 15.4 inches mainstream laptop that weighed 6.40 lb. The Inspiron 1520 was based on the Intel Santa Rosa platform. It was replaced on January 11, 2008 by the Inspiron 1525 laptop, which was lighter, thinner, and featured a HDMI port, but no discrete graphics option. Processors: Intel Pentium dual-core T2310 or Intel Core 2 Duo T5250, T5450, or T7100, T7250, T7500, T7300, T8100, T8300 or T9500. Processors: AMD Athlon 64X2 TK55, or AMD Turion X2 TL56, TL58, TL60 or TL64. Memory: 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB or 4 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 667 MHz or 800 MHz. Chipset: Intel GM965 or PM965 Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA103100 graphics or NVIDIA GeForce 8400 MGS or 8600 MGT. Graphics processor: integrated ATI Radeon XPR ESS1270. LCD display: 15.4 inches matte widescreen with 1280 800 resolution, 15.4 glossy widescreen with 1280 800 resolution and True Life, 15.4 glossy widescreen with 1440 900 resolution and True Life, 15.4 glossy widescreen with 1680 1050. Hard drive: 160 GB SATA at 5400 or 7200 RPMs, or 120 GB SATA at 5400 or 7200 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x tray load DVD+/RW drive, 8x tray load dual layer DVD+/RW, or 2x tray load Blu-ray disc combo drive. Battery: 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera: 2MP webcam with optional facial recognition software, Wi-Fi card, Dell Wireless 139800 2.11G, 149800 2.11 areas per gram mini card, or 1505 800 2.11N mini card or Intel 3945 800 2.11 areas per gram mini card or Next Gen 4965 800 2.11N mini card. Bluetooth: Dell Wireless Bluetooth internal 355. I/O ports: 4 USB ports, 1 FireWire port, 1 Fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 1 8-inch-1 memory card reader, 1 express card slot, 1 VGA output, 1 S-video output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Inspiron 1525: The Inspiron 1525 is a mid-sized, low-end replacement for the 1520. It is easy to change the CPU to a T7300 and 4 GB of PC2-5300 to have a very fast machine at little expense, just by removing the access panels in the bottom of the unit. It has a 15.4 inches screen and features an HDMI connector. It was replaced on February 26, 2009 by the Inspiron 1545. It is also thinner and comes in a wider range of cover colors. Inspiron 6000. The base model was shipped in first quarter 2005 with a 1.5 GHz Intel Pentium M processor or a 1.3 GHz Intel Celeron M processor, 256 MB RAM, 400/533 MHz FSB, Intel 915 grams PM chipset, an Intel Graphics Media Accelerator, 40 GB Ultra ATA hard drive, and a 15.4-inch WXGA widescreen monitor. Both the Celeron M and Pentium M processors can work on the Inspiron 6000, so an Inspiron with the 1.3 GHz Celeron M can upgrade all the way to the 2.13 GHz Pentium M instead of being limited to the 1.5 GHz Celeron M upgrade. Like the Inspiron 9300, it featured DDR2 RAM. In comparison with other Inspiron models, the 6000 was considered the versatile and affordable member of the Dell notebook line. The higher-priced Inspiron 6000E provided a dedicated graphics chip, the ATI Mobility Radeon X364 MB PCI Express X16, which ran at a core speed of 300 MHz and DDR memory speed of 216 MHz. The Inspiron 6000 was among the first notebooks to arrive on the market with Intel's new Sonoma technology. According to Dell, the Inspiron 6000 would deliver faster data processing, and users, particularly gamers and graphics pros, would see less audio and video choppiness, quicker task execution, less power consumption, and enhanced battery life as a result. The Inspiron 6000 notebook added features and help files, making it easier and faster to operate. In addition, the Inspiron 6000 offered a number of improvements over the Inspiron 5160, which it replaced in Dell's home small business lineup. Upgraded features included a 15.4-in widescreen display, a slightly slimmer profile and a manufacturer's bundle memory cards that accommodated only a handful of photos. Processors: Intel Celeron M350, 360, or 370 or Intel Pentium M715A, 725A, 730, 740, 750, 760, or 770. Memory: 256 MB, 512 MB, 1 GB, or 2 GB of DDR2 SDRAM at 533 MHz. Chipset: Intel 915 grams or 915 PM Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA 900 graphics, or ATI Mobility Radeon X300. LCD display: 15.4 inches widescreen with 1280 800 resolution, 15.4 widescreen with 1680 1050 resolution, or 15.4 widescreen with 1920 1200 resolution. Hard drive: 40 GB or 60 GB Ultra ATA at 5400 RPMs. Optical drive: 24x DVD CD-RW drive, 8x tray load DVD plus/RW drive or 8x tray load dual layer DVD plus/RW. Battery: 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion battery. Wi-Fi card: Dell Wireless 1390800 2.11BG Mini Card or Intel Pro Wireless 21100 800 2.11BG Mini Card. I/O ports: 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 4 USB ports, 1 FireWire 400 port, 1 SD memory card reader, 1 express card slot, 1 VGA output, 1 S-video port, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Inspiron 5150. The Dell Inspiron 5150 was released on June 11, 2003 as a desktop replacement, weighing over 7.5 pounds. It was purported to be the high-end version of Inspiron 5100 and designed to support the mobile Intel Pentium IV processor up to 3.2 GHz, a high-performance mobile processor architecture at the time, that first supported Intel hyper-threading technology. The hyper-threading features of the processor were available only if the system board came with supporting firmware. Hyper-threading support had to be chosen at time of purchase and could not be enabled later by BIOS upgrades even though the processor supported it. The wireless networking was based on a closed Broadcom chipset BCM4306. The laptop was infamous for a huge number of design failures, overheating, battery failures, connector loosening, motherboard failures. The owners of Dell Inspiron 5150 initiated a class action lawsuit on Dell resulting in Lundell settlement. On December 4, 2006 the United States District Court for the Northern District of California granted final approval to the settlement granting relief to the owners of Dell Inspiron 5150. Processors: Mobile Intel Pentium IV, memory, 2 SODIMM slots. Basic model came with 256 MB RAM, expandable up to a maximum of 2 GB PC333 SDRAM, 1 GB in each slot. Chipset, Intel 852PM chipset, which supported a 533 LMTS system bus. Graphics processor, 4X GPA Ti Mobility Radeon 9000/NVIDIA GeForce FX 5200, which came with 32 or 64 MB DDR RAM, LCD display, 15.40-inch 1400A, 1050 SXGA+, hard drive, 1 bay with more than 20 GB 4200 5400 LPM Ultra ATA/144-pin IDE HRP, optical drive, CDRW, sound, 18-bit. AC97 Sigma 9750, battery, 6-cell 4400 mAh lithium-ion battery, Wi-Fi card, mini PCI slot with Dell True Mobile 802.11 BG1350, I/O ports, 1 IEEE 1394 FireWire, 2 high-speed USB, 1 external VGA, 1 S-Video, 1 compact flash slot, 1 fast Ethernet, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Inspiron 8600, processors, Mobile Intel Pentium IV-M, memory, 2 SODIMM slots. Basic model came with 256 MB RAM, expandable up to a maximum of 2 GB PC333 SDRAM, 1 GB in each slot. Chipset, Intel 855PM chipset, which supported a 400 MTS system bus. Graphics processor, NVIDIA GeForce 4200 Go, NVIDIA GeForce FX Go 5200/NVIDIA GeForce FX Go 5650, which came with 32 or 64 MB DDR RAM, LCD display, 15.40-inch 1920 1200 WXGA, 1680 1050, 1280x800, hard drive, 1 bay with more than 20 GB 4200 5400 LPM Ultra ATA/100. 44-pin IDE HRP, optical drive, CDRW, sound, 20-bit AC97 Intel 9750, battery, 9-cell 6000 mAh lithium-ion battery, Wi-Fi card, mini PCI slot with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, I/O ports, 1 IEEE 1394 FireWire, 2 high-speed USB, 1 external VGA, 1 S-Video/Composite/SPDIF, 1 fast Ethernet, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Inspiron 6400/E1505. Dimensions, 6.18 lb, 14 inches 10.45 1.42, processors, mainstream models with an Intel Centrino or Core at up to 2.16 GHz, memory, DDR2 SDRAM up to 2, graphics processor. Both models feature an integrated Intel Graphics Media Accelerator 950, ATI Radeon 10 1300, ATI Radeon 10 1400, or NVIDIA GeForce Go 7300, LCD display, 15.4 WXGA. WXGA Plus or WSXGA Plus display, hard drive, SATA hard drive, battery, a 53WH 6-cell. 4400 mAh smart lithium-ion battery, the 85WH 9-cell 6600 mAh smart lithium-ion battery was included as an option, which gave it 6 hours of general use with Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi card, optional wireless N Intel or Dell wireless mini LAN cards. Operating system, offered with Ubuntu Linux, Windows XP Home, Windows XP Media Center Edition 2005, Windows XP Professional, or Windows Vista Business. May include Dell Media Direct. Other features included a 7 multimedia buttons on the front. Lightweight models, Inspiron 1420, released on Dell's website on June 26, 2007. The Dell Inspiron 1420 is a 14.1-inch lightweight laptop that weighs 5.4 lbs and is based on the Santa Rosa platform. Unlike its larger counterparts, the Inspiron 1520 and 1720, The Inspiron 1420 did not have an AMD variant. The media keys were located on top of the keyboard instead of on the front of the laptop. The Inspiron 1420 was replaced by the Inspiron 1440 on June 25, 2009. Processors: Intel Pentium dual-core T2310, T2390, T4200 or T4300, or Intel Core 2 Duo T5250, T5450, T5750 or T7100, T7250, T7300, T7500, T8100, T8300, T9300 or T9500. Memory: 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB, 4 GB, or 6 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 667 MHz. Chipset: Intel GM965 or PM965 Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA10-3100 graphics or NVIDIA GeForce 8400 MGS with 128 MB dedicated graphic memory. LCD display: 14.1 inches widescreen with 1280 800 resolution, 14.1 widescreen with 1280 800 resolution and True Life, 14.1 ultra-sharp widescreen with 1440 900 resolution and True Life. Hard drive: 80 GB, 160 GB, 250 GB or 320 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs. 160 GB SATA at 7200 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x tray load DVD plus/RW drive, 8x tray load dual layer DVD plus/RW or 2x tray load Blu-ray disc combo drive. Battery: 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera: 2MP webcam with optional facial recognition software, Wi-Fi card, Dell Wireless 139800 2.11G mini card, 149800 2.11 areas per gram mini card, or 1505 800 2.11N mini card, Intel Pro Wireless 3945 800 2.11 areas per gram mini card, or Intel Next Gen 4965 800 2.11N mini card. Bluetooth: Dell Wireless Bluetooth internal 355. I/O ports: 4 USB ports, 1 FireWire port, 1 Fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 1 8-inch-1 memory card reader, 1 express card slot, 1 VGA output, 1 S-video output, 2 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Inspiron 1420s purchased in the United States between May 2007 and September 30, 2008 that are suffering from a defective NVIDIA GeForce 8400 MGS graphics chip may be covered under the NVIDIA GPU litigation. Note that systems sold outside the United States were offered a 1-year limited warranty extension to any existing service warranty. Inspiron 6400/E1405, see Dell Inspiron E1405, the Inspiron 14 inches notebook configurable with components similar to the E1505 but a bit smaller in total size. The E1405 at the time of release is known for its excellent battery life. The main attraction of this laptop is its price. For gamers, the E1405 comes standard with a mobile Intel R 945 grams Express chipset family, which in most cases will not be enough for most new high-end games. Also, it is near impossible to add a new graphics card because this chipset is integrated, therefore you cannot add a new graphics card unless you get a new motherboard. Otherwise most other system specifications are rather basic. If you want serious media on the machine you will have to buy some things. The easiest route is to buy system RAM for the computer. Dell claims that its maximum supported memory is 2 GB, however E1405s have been known to accept up to 4 GB of memory. Processors: Intel Core Duo T2050, or Intel Core 2 Duo T5500, T5600, or T7200, or T7400. Memory: 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB, or 4 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 667 MHz. Chipset, Intel 945 grams Express chipset. Graphics processor, integrated Intel GMA 950. LCD display, 14.1 inches widescreen with 1280 800 resolution, 14.1 widescreen with 1280 800 resolution and True Life, 14.1 widescreen with 1440 900 resolution and True Life. Hard drive, 80 GB or 100 GB or 120 GB SATA at 5400 RPMs. Optical drive, 8x tray low dual LED DVD+/RW. Battery, 6-cell, or 9-cell lithium-ion Inspiron 640mAh battery. Camera, 2MP webcam with optional facial recognition software, Wi-Fi card, Dell Wireless 139800 2.11G mini card or 4965 2.11N mini card. Bluetooth, Dell Wireless Bluetooth internal 350. I/O ports, 4 USB ports, 1 FireWire port, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 1 5-inch-1 memory card reader, 1 express card slot, 1 VGA output, 1 S-video output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Netbooks, Inspiron 910. Released online on September 4, 2008, the Dell Inspiron 910 is an 8.9 inches netbook that weighs 2.28 lbs. It is Dell's first netbook. It was retired on May 29, 2009. Processors, Intel Atom N270. Memory, 512 MB, 1 GB or 2 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 533 MHz. Chipset, Intel US15W Express chipset. Graphics processor, integrated Intel GMA 950 graphics. LCD display, 8.9 inches LED backlit widescreen with 1024 600 resolution. Hard drive, 8 GB, 16 GB SSD, or 32 GB SSD. Optical drive, external USB 8x tray low dual LED DVD+/RW. Battery, 4-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera, 0.3MP webcam. Wi-Fi card, Dell Wireless 1395 800 2.11G mini card. Bluetooth, Dell Wireless Bluetooth internal 350. I/O ports, 3 USB 2.0 ports, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 3-inch-1 memory card reader, 1 VGA output, 1 headphone jack, 1 microphone jack, and 1 power adapter port. Inspiron 1210, released online on October 16, 2008, the Dell Inspiron 1210 is a 12.1 inches netbook that weighs 2.72 lbs. The netbook originally shipped with Windows Vista Home Basic SP 132-bit, but an option for XP Home SP 332-bit was added a month later. It was criticized for being slow with Vista. It was retired on August 7, 2009. Processors, Intel Atom Z520 or Z530. Memory, 512 MB or 1 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 533 MHz. Chipset, Intel US15W Express chipset. Graphics processor, integrated Intel GMA 500 graphics. LCD display, 12.1 inches LED backlit widescreen with 1280 800 resolution. Hard drive, 40 GB, 60 GB or 32 GB PATA at 5400 RPMs. Optical drive, external USB 8x tray low dual LED DVD+/RW. Battery, 3-cell or 6-cell lithium-ion battery. Camera, 1.3MP webcam. Wi-Fi card, Dell Wireless 1395 800 2.11G mini card. Bluetooth, Dell Wireless Bluetooth internal 350. I/O ports, 3 USB 2.0 ports, 1 fast Ethernet port, one 3-inch-1 memory card reader, one VGA output, one headphone jack, one microphone jack, and one power adapter port. Desktops, Inspiron 530. Released on June 26, 2006, the Dell Inspiron 530 is Dell's first desktop to use the Inspiron name. The Inspiron 530 has an Intel Celeron 450, and can be customized up to an Intel Core 2 Quad Q9550. It has 2 GB of DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz, which can be upgraded up to 4 GB or 8 GB. The desktop has a 320 GB 7200 RPM serial ATA hard drive with data burst cache, which can be upgraded to 1 TB. There are also data recovery versions of the 320 and 500 GB hard drive sizes. The Inspiron 530 is customizable with a variety of DVD+/RW and Blu-ray disc drives. The Inspiron 530 has integrated Intel GMA 3100, and can be customized up to an ATI Radeon HD 4670 discrete graphics card. It has integrated 7.1-channel audio and can be customized up to a Sound Blaster XV Extreme Gamer sound card. The Inspiron 530 has no initial Wi-Fi card, but can be customized up to a Dell 1505 wireless and PCIe card. The Inspiron 530 has 2 variants of motherboards, both made by Foxconn and based on the G33M series. The G33M02, which supports up to Core 2 Duo processors, and the DG33M03, which supports up to Core 2 Quad processors. Inspiron 530 systems sold with Pentium dual-core or Core 2 Duo processors cannot be upgraded to Core 2 Quad processors without adding at least a 350W power supply and swapping motherboards to the DG33M03 motherboard. The reason the G33M02 doesn't support Core 2 Quad processors is because it only has 6 voltage regulator ICs, the DG33M03 has 11. Inspiron 530s. The Inspiron 530s has the same design as the 530, but it is 41% slimmer. However, because of its design, it is not physically compatible with all desktop hardware, especially graphics cards. The case used in the 530s can accommodate one 5.25 inches optical drive, one external 3.5 drive, and up to 2 standard 3.5 hard drives. The motherboard used in the 530s is almost identical to the motherboard used in the 530 edition, except for the fact that this motherboard only supports dual-core processors, and not any members of the quad-core series like its twin. While almost any low-profile PCIe X16 video card will physically fit in the 530s, the custom-sized Delta 250W power supply that the 530s is equipped with may seriously limit the potential for using higher-end cards. Inspiron 531 says. The Dell Inspiron 531 is Dell's AMD desktop counterpart to the Inspiron 530, and with exception of the CPU and motherboard, is virtually identical. Starting with the Athlon 64X2 3800+, it can be customized up to an AMD Athlon 64X2 6000+. The Athlon X2 7000, Phenom 2 and Athlon 2 series are not supported. It uses 1 GB of DDR2 SDRAM at 667 MHz, which can be upgraded up to 4 GB 800 MHz under JEDEC DDR2 voltage specification. The model features the M2N61AX OEM motherboard made by ASUS and uses NVIDIA GeForce 6150 integrated graphics with the NForce 430i chipset, and has 2 PCI slots, one PCIe X1 and one PCIe X16 1.0 slot. Due to the arrangement of the expansion slots, however, use of a double-height video card renders the PCIe X1 slot useless. The motherboard also features 4 SATA 1.0 ports, 1 EIDE plug, 3 USB plugs for front USB, a FireWire plug, and a front audio plug. Cooling is somewhat limited, as the motherboard only provides one 4-pin PWM CPU fan plug, and one 3-pin rear fan plug. Installation of a fan controller will be required to use additional fans. Recently, the 6.05 version of NVIDIA's System Performance Tools allows minor FSB overclocking, but does not allow voltage or multiplier adjustments, limiting overclocking potential. The case is micro ATX sized, lightweight aluminum and features 192 rear fan, 1 external 31A2 drive bay, 251A4 bays and 2 vertical 31A2 internal drive bays. It also features a standard ATX-sized 300-watt power supply with 4 SATA plugs, one 24-pin ATX-12V 2.0 plug and one 4-pin P4 plug, oddly excluding any standard 4-pin Molex connectors. The I/O shield is also part of the case, preventing the installation of third-party motherboards without modifications to the case. Inspiron 537, released on Dell's website on May 12, 2009. The Inspiron 537 is a mini-tower desktop that replaces the Inspiron 530. The desktop has a black chassis, but the front shell can be customized with one of 8 colors. Oddly, this model was replaced by the Inspiron 546, which uses AMD processors, after being available online for less than 1 month. Processors: Intel Celeron 450, Intel Celeron dual-core, Intel Pentium dual-core E5200, Intel Core 2 Duo E5300, E7500 or E8400 or Intel Core 2 Quad Q8200 or Q9400. Memory: 2 GB, 3 GB, or 4 GB of shared dual-channel DDR2 SDRAM at 800 MHz. Chipset: Intel G41 Express chipset. Graphics processor: integrated Intel GMA10 4500 graphics or ATI Radeon HD 4350 with 512 MB of graphics memory. Hard drive: 320 GB, or 500 GB SATA at 7200 RPMs. Optical drive: 8x dual LED DVD+/RW drive or 2x Blu-ray disc combo drive. Wi-Fi card: Dell Wireless 1505 800 2.11n mini card with external antenna. I/O ports: 4 USB 2.0 ports, 1 FireWire port, 1 fast Ethernet port, 1 56K modem, 1 VGA output, 1 HDMI output, 1 headphone jack, 2 microphone jacks, 1 line-in connector, 1 line-out connector, 1 19-inch-1 memory card reader, as 1 power cable connector. Inspiron 518/519, a higher-end version of the Inspiron 530/531. Memory was upgradable to 8 GB. Current models: the Inspiron 560, 570 and 620 models were Dell's most current Inspiron PC desktop models as of 2011. WLAN cards: chip, Aferos Arkansas, 9285 plus FCCID, PPDAR5B95 plus Dell Wireless 1502 WLAN half mini card plus PCIe adapter card, specification Arkansas, 9285 BN 150 Mbps. Chip, Aferos Arkansas, 9280 plus FCCID, PPDAR5BHB92 plus Dell Wireless 1515 WLAN half mini card, chip, Aferos Arkansas, 9280 plus FCCID, PPDAR5BDT92 plus Dell Wireless 1525 WLAN PCIe card, specification Arkansas, 9280 AG draft 300 Mbps. List of Dell Inspiron models. 700M, model notes. Rebadging: in the past Dell has modified some existing Inspiron machines to produce computers of higher or lower quality. Note for example the first-generation Inspiron XPS and Inspiron 9100. Both machines shared the same options in processors, RAM, hard drives, wireless cards, LCD screens and graphics cards, as well as the same chassis. Dell marketed the XPS as an ultimate gaming machine, while marketing the 9100 as a desktop replacement. The Inspiron 9100 is a rebadged XPS. The only difference between the two is the LCD panel. Although both support a 15.4 Samsung LCD, Only later models of the 9100 use the identical LCD screen. The Samsung LCD panel supports 1920A, 1200. Previous 2.8-3.0 GHZ Inspiron 9100 use a lesser panel with resolutions of 1280A, 800. Problems: overheating. Reference: Dell's official statement, the Lundell settlement. Dell Inspiron 5150 only. In 2003, Dell released several lines of Inspiron notebooks that had overheating issues. The systems would overheat and could cause damage to the microprocessor, video card, and motherboard. These systems would also randomly shut down due to high internal temperatures. Overheating in these Inspiron systems is mainly caused by performance-consuming tasks in software. This problem was determined to be due to the design of the airflow from the bottom of the system. It would draw in dirt, dust and clog the heat sink, making air unable to pass through in order to cool the system. Affected models include the Dell Inspiron 1100, 1150, 5100, 5150, and 5160. Also affected is the Latitude 100L, a near clone of these models. Dell acknowledged this problem and designed a new fan with a better heat sink and heat pipes to provide better cooling with less noise. Any repairs made at this point will include the redesigned parts. On September 20, Inspiron 5150 owners in the U.S. brought a class action against Dell. The settlement included 100% cash reimbursement for certain repairs, and an extended limited warranty to cover those types of repairs that become necessary for 1 year. Following the lawsuit detailed above, in October 2006 customers who had purchased Dell Inspiron 1100, 1150, 5100, 5150, and 5160 notebooks filed a class action lawsuit against Dell, alleging misconduct in connection with the design, manufacture, warranting, advertising and selling of these computers. A similar action started in Canada. Overheating has been reduced by using compressed air duster spray. Spraying the keyboard, the microprocessor thermal cooling assembly located under the eye backspace keys, rear air vent exhaust, bottom air intake, and side air vent have been effective in reducing the running temperature from a normal operating temperature of 77-87 AA degrees Celsius to 45-55 AA degrees Celsius under average load. Alternately, some users of these affected models found relief by underclocking their processors. Motherboard. On a number of Inspiron 5150 and Latitude 100L systems, a design flaw in the positioning of a tab on the C panel on the underside of the laptop has led to problems. Any pressure applied to the top left-hand corner of the laptop causes this tab to press against the motherboard and in particular against the LVC14A chip. This causes the solder between this chip and the motherboard to break. This causes sudden shutdowns of the system as a result of any movement of the laptop. In certain cases the laptop will not reboot at all. Dell has redesigned later models of the 5150 to avoid this problem. Some models reveal cases where someone has manually snapped off the tab from the C panel by hand during the manufacturing process. Dell currently covers this fault in the USA under the Lundell settlement, although it is not known whether Dell will fix this fault free of charge outside the USA. In January 2007 a similar lawsuit started in Canada, and Dell in the Netherlands has agreed to repair Dutch computers following criticism in the consumer program CASA. This has also been a problem with the Inspiron 1150, with the same chip giving problems with broken solder. Resoldering is not recommended. Reheating the pins can re-establish the connection and solve the power-off problem at the expense of possibly losing the use of the touchpad mouse. Battery recall of 2006, Dell posted notices to many of their laptop customers on August 14, 2006, saying that the Sony batteries on the following models could combust, or even explode: Latitude D410, D500, D505, D510, D520, D600, D610, D620, D630, D800, D810, Inspiron, 6000, 6400, 8500, 8600, 9100, 9200, 9300, 500M, 510M, 600M. 6400, E1505, 700M, 710M, 9400, E1705, XPS, XPS Gen 2, XPS M170, XPS M1710, Precision, M20, M60, M70, M90. Users of many of these computers purchased between April 2004 and July 18, 2006 received the recommendation that they should remove the batteries and run their computers on AC power until replacements arrived. Problematic batteries made by Sony led to recall programs at other laptop computer companies as well, including Hitachi, Toshiba, Lenovo and Apple. Power supply issues. Most Dell laptop computers have a special external power supply which cannot be replaced by a third-party universal supply. The PSU has what's called Unique Array Accent Add-Only Memory, known under Type DS2501. It is a parasitic power circuit memory chip connected to the center identification pin in the plug, via a 2 meters long unshielded wire alongside the PSU cable. This chip produces a special signal using a one-wire communication protocol known as one-wire in identifying the PSU as an original Dell PSU. This chip handles all the data needed to authenticate a charge. If a power supply not made by Dell is used, or the cable near the connector becomes damaged, as is not infrequent after some use, the PSU stops charging the battery and the CPU runs slower, although the computer can be used indefinitely so long as it remains plugged in. If this problem is present at startup, the message the AC power adapter type cannot be determined. Your system will operate slower and the battery will not charge as displayed. This will continue until the external PSU is replaced. A few third-party suppliers make power supplies with specific provision for Dell computers at lower prices than Dell's. It is possible to work round the slowdown, but not the battery charging, by installing a CPU clock utility. On some models, the problem can be worked around by starting the computer without a battery installed and fitting the battery after the computer has booted. Another problem arises after much use with the motherboard power connector. Flap-like metal parts which contact the outside of the plug lose their tension and fail to make contact so that power does not reach the computer. The official solution is to replace the connector on the motherboard, which requires partial disassembly of the computer and desoldering a part with several pins. Many companies charge a considerable sum for the work involved. Various simple alternatives have been suggested. For example, a thin skin of solder on the outside of the barrel of the connector on the PSU. One other problem can happen with the wattage rating of the power supply. There are two Dell power supplies that were used for different Inspiron models which have the same plug assembly and voltage, a 65 watt supply model PA6 and a 90 watt supply model PA9. Some models shipped with a PA9. If a PA6 is used in these models, then the system might not boot at times. In such cases, it will light the battery light for a few seconds when the supply is plugged in. This can also happen if the power supply becomes marginal. Marginal supplies can show as supplying full voltage even if tested with a voltmeter while the supply is plugged into the computer and an attempt is made to turn on the computer. These problems are discussed in detail, and solutions and workarounds suggested, in a discussion on Tom's Hardware site, and on the Laptop Junction site. Hibernation sensor problem. A problem exists with the hibernation sensor located in some older laptops. Unlike many laptops that use a mechanical switch to detect when the lid is closed, in these systems the sensor is a magnetic reed switch that is located between the touchpad and the front edge of the laptop. There is a magnet that is located in the top lid above this switch, and when the lid is closed the magnet triggers the reed switch. If the magnet loses strength, then the system will not go into suspend or hibernation if the lid is closed. The magnet strength can be checked by running a paper clip along the top edge of the screen. A worse problem happens if the reed switch fails. Sometimes the switches will fail in a closed position with the contacts sticking together. In that case the system will not switch on. There are several ways to check for this. First, the laptop can be partially disassembled and the mouse assembly can be unplugged from the system board and the system switched on. If the system boots with the mouse unplugged, then it is the switch. Another way to check for the problem is by running a magnet over the read switch. There should be a faint click when the magnet triggers the switch. This does not require disassembly, but the magnet must be in the correct position and be strong enough. Some people have modified the circuitry of the laptop by cutting the switch off of the assembly, with the downside being the system will no longer suspend if the lid is closed. Vertical line LCD problem. Some 17 inches Inspiron 8600, 9200, 9300, 6000, 1750, and XPS Gen 2 notebook LCDs have a vertical line manufacturing defect. Symptoms range from individual lines to entire bars of the screen with inverted colors. Most problems showed after 4 years of usage. Dell has been very reluctant to replace these panels after guarantee, although there was a direct link to the defective parts from their suppliers. Even warranty customers have had difficulty getting replacements, and replaced screens often develop the defect after a short time. 3. See also, Dell's home office consumer class product lines, Studio, XPS, Studio XPS, Alienware, Adamo, Dell Business Corporate class product lines, Vostro, N-Series, Latitude, Precision. References. External links, Dell Laptops Buying Guide. Dell's official laptop buying guide site for the UK. Dell Inspiron Notebook range at Dell.com, Linux on Dell Notebooks, Inspiron 1100 Overheating Problems and Solutions, Inspiron 1300 Overheat Solution, Dell Inspiron Mini Discussion Forum, Inspiron 13Z Chipset Software.